Oh, hello there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimikung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chapter 3, Section 1 of A Tale of Two Cities, Book the First Recalled to Life.
As.
Ah.
A Tale of Two Cities, Book the First Recalled to Life. Charles Dickens. Chapter 3, Section 1. A wonderful fact to reflect upon. Other. A solemn consideration. When I enter a great city by night, that every one of those darkly clustered houses enclose its own secret. That every room in every one of them enclose its own secret. That every beating heart in the hundreds of thousands of breasts there, in some of its imaginings, a secret to the heart nearest it, something of the awfulness, even of death itself, is referable to this. No more can I turn the leaves of this dew book that I loved, and vainly hope in time to read it all. No more can I look into the depths of this unfathomable water, when, as momentary lights glanced into it, I have had glimpses of buried treasure and other things submerged. It was appointed that the book should shut with a spring, forever and forever. When I had read but a page, it was appointed that the water should be locked in an eternal frost. When the light was playing on its surface, and I stood in ignorance on the shore, my friend is dead. My neighbour is dead. My love, the darling of my soul, is dead. Individuality, and which I shall carry in mind to my life's end, in any of the burial places of the city through which I pass. Is there a sleeper more inscrutable than its busy inhabitants are, in their innermost personality, to me, more than I am to them? As to this, his natural and not to be alienated inheritance, the messenger on horseback had exactly the same positions as the king, the first minister of state, or the richest merchant in London. Mill coach. They were mysteries to one another, as complete as if each had been in his own coach and six, or his own coach and 60, with the breadth of a canty between him and the next. The messenger rode back at an easy trot, stopping pretty often at alehouses by the way to drink, but evincing a tendency to keep his own counsel, and to keep his hat cocked over his eyes. He had eyes that assorted very well with that decoration, being of a surface black, with no depth in the colour or form, and much too near toga as if they were afraid of being found out in something. Thinly, if they kept too far apart, they had a sinister expression, under an old cocked hat like a three-cornered spichown, and over a great muffler for the chin and throat, which descended nearly to the wearer's knees. When he stopped for drink, he moved this muffler with his left hand, only while he poured his liquor in with his right. As soon as that was done, he muffled again. The cherry. Thou, said the messenger, harping on one theme as he rode. It wouldn't do for you. Cherry. Cherry. You honest tradesman. It wouldn't suit your line of business. Were called. His message perplexed his mind to that degree that he was fain, several times, to take off his hat to scratch his head, except on the crown, which was raggedly bald. He had stiff, black hair, standing jiggly all over it, and growing downhill almost to his broad, blunt nose. It was so like Smith's work. Hey, that the best of players at Leapfrog might have declined him as the most dangerous man in the world to go over. In his books at the door of Tilson's Bank, by Temple Bar, who was to deliver it to greater authorities within. Message: uneasiness. They seemed to be numerous, for she shied at every shadow on the road. What time? The mail coach lumbered, jilted, addled, and bumped upon its tedious way, with its 3 fellow inscrutables inside. To him, likewise, the shadows of the night revealed themselves. In the frums their dozing eyes and wandering foot suggested. Tilson's Bank had run up on it in the mail, as the bank passenger with an arm drawn through the leathern strap, which did what lay in it to keep him from pounding against the next passenger and driving him into his corner. Whenever the coach got a special dull nod in his place, with half-shut eyes, the little coach windows, and the coach lamp dimly gleaming through them, and the bulky bundle of opposite passenger, became the bank, and did a great stroke of business. The rattle of the harness was the chink of money, and more drafts were honoured in 5 minutes than even Tilson's, with all its foreign and home connection, ever paid in thrice the time. Then the strong rooms underground, at Tilson's. It was not a little that he knew about them, opened before him, and he went in among them with the great keys and the feebly burning kindle, and found them safe, and strong, and sound, and still, just as he had last seen them. But, though the bank was almost always with him, and though the coach in a confused way, like the presence of pain under an opiate, was always with him, there was another current of impression that never ceased to run. All through the night, he was on his way to dig someone out of a grave, and of the buried person the shadows of the night did not indicate, but they were all the faces of a man of 45 by years, and they differed principally in the passions they expressed, and in the ghastliness of their worn and wasted state. While contempt, defiance, stubbornness, submission, lamentation succeeded one another, so did varieties of sunken cheek, cadaverous colour, emaciated hands and figures. But the face was in the main one face, and every head was prematurely white. 100 times the dozing passenger inquired of this spectre. The answer was always the same. Shall I show her to you? The answers to this question were various and contradictory. Sometimes the broken reply was, wait. It would kill me if I saw her too soon. Sometimes it was giving in a tender rain of tears. And then it was, take me to her. Sometimes it was staring and bewildered. And then it was, I don't know her. After such imaginary discourse, the passenger in his fancy would dig, and dig, Did you know with a spade? Now with a great key. Now with his hands to dig this wretched creature out. Brought out at last, with earth hanging about his face and hair. He would suddenly fan away to dust. The passenger would then start to himself and lower the window to get the reality of mist and rain on his cheek. Yet even when his eyes were opened in the mist and rain, on the moving patch of light from the lamps, and the hedge at the roadside retreating by jerks, was in the real banking house by Temple Bar, the real business of the past day, the real strong rooms, the real express sent after him, and the real message returned, would all be there. Out of the midst of them, the ghostly face would rise, and he would accost it again. Up the window, draw his arms securely through the leathern strap, and speculate upon the two slumbering forms, until his mind lost its hold of them, and they again slid away into the bank and the grave. Delight, and found that the shadows of the night were gone. He lowered the window and looked out at the rising sun. There was a ridge of ploughed land, where unoaked, beyond, a quiet coppice wood, in which many leaves of burning red and gold and yellow still remained upon the trees, though the earth was cold and wet. The sky was clear, and the sun rose bright, placid, and beautiful. 18 years, said the passenger, looking at the sun. Gracious creator of day. To be continued.